Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Ecom Life. My name is John, and Brian's still not here. He's still on vacation, so it'll be me flying solo this week. I do have Lindy with me. You want to say hi, Lindy?
Hi.
She's off camera, but anyway, we are so excited today. Well, I gotta say, this week's topic is a little vulnerable for me. It's a little different. I just came up with it last week as I was driving into work and listening to a podcast about entrepreneurship, and it just gave me the idea for this podcast of how my weight loss journey helped me become a better entrepreneur. And so, first of all, I just want to say, and I was thinking about this a lot because with weight loss, body image, anything that has to do with that can be kind of a touchy subject with people. I'm not here to try to say you have to lose weight. I'm not here to say that, you know, being a bigger person is bad. I'm none of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like I want to be very careful with that. I'm not here to give any advice on how to lose weight. None of that. It's just that as I've gone through this journey, it's really kind of for me, and again, that's the other thing. I'm just speaking for myself as well. I'm not saying that you'll have the same experience or whatever. I just really want to be careful about that. But for me, I noticed some really strong parallels about my success with weight loss, of losing weight, I guess, and parallels with that and with my journey as an entrepreneur, as a successful entrepreneur and running an ecom store. And so it's just been really, really interesting. And all the way around, it's just been such a awesome thing in my life to be able to, you know, uh, become healthier and shed this weight. It's just been a net positive for me. And not only from the physical side, but also on the mental, the mindset side, which has been really, really interesting. And truthfully, and I'm just going off the cuff here, guys. I do have three things I'm going to talk about, but a lot of this is just from the heart too. Like I just remember, when I was start my ecom business, um, I I was out of shape. I wasn't really honoring my body, I guess you could say. And I always felt this thing in the back of my head saying, you need to start taking care of yourself. You need to start watching what you eat. Just be healthier, and it's not about the number on the scale. It's about how you feel health wise. And I kept hearing that. And I said, well, I'm too busy. I'm too busy trying to start this business. I'm too busy with family. I came up with all these excuses, and that thing just kept nagging at me, just kept nagging. Hey, you need to start losing weight or taking care of yourself. I'm going to mention it that way because that's really what it is. It's just taking better care of myself physically. And the reality is I really didn't have a real big shift in my mindset and the direction of Quadra, which is our app company. Which, by the way, you should check out. Go to goquadra.com. We have lots of training there, but we also have our marketplace app, which allows you to sell product online. So as we were building this business, I was not having I mean, I had clarity about where we're going, but with any new venture, your mind just goes in a million directions. You're just trying to figure out what you're going to do. And taking care of my physical body gave me some serious clarity about what to do with Quadra. It's been amazing. And so I just want to put that out there. First of all, I'm not here to talk about weight loss. It's about the mindset that I've experienced a change and the benefits that have come from being able to take better care of my physical body and lose some weight that have helped me with my mindset. Okay. And so there's been three things that stuck out to me that have really there goes the air conditioner. It's like our conference room now. It's like, oh, they're doing a podcast. Let's turn on the air conditioning. So I was on the phone call with Brian this morning. He's like, are you guys in a car? Anyway, so hopefully the sound, do you notice the sound on it's not too bad? Okay, good. So anyway, like I said, guys, this is off the cuff, but there are three things that really helped me in my weight loss journey with my entrepreneurship. And the first thing I want to talk about is consistency. Okay. One of the really cool things about, so I guess I should mention, and maybe this is where there'll be an image here that you guys can see of before and after of I've lost 80 pounds. And so that's in about, what month are we in right now? June. So it's been about 9 months since I really got serious about my weight loss journey. So I lost 80 pounds. I guess I should start there too. And so the cool thing, there's three things, but I really love this lesson is consistency. And so in order to lose 80 pounds, I believe, and again, I'm just speaking for myself, is you have to have consistency. Okay. You can't just say, well, I'm going to watch what I eat this week, and then for the next 3 weeks, not not watch what I eat, not exercise, right? And so you have to be consistent, and I have been consistent. That's what's really really cool, is I've proven to myself that I can be consistent. Okay, and so again, to lose that amount of weight, any of you that have done that, you have to commit yourself to a program, I believe, right? And then you have to be consistent executing it. And it's the same exact thing with business, is that you have to have a plan that you want to execute. And so for print on demand, again, in our training, we talk about this, but you want to have a plan of attack on how you're going to grow your business, right? How many launches are you going to do per week? How many designs are you going to find per week? How many ads are you going to launch per week? You have to plan that out and then be consistent with it. And just like weight loss, if you don't have a program and you're not consistent following that program, you're not going to get the results that you want, right? And so is it any wonder, just like with weight loss, where people don't follow a plan, they don't lose the weight, they get frustrated and, just say, forget it, this isn't for me, or this isn't working. They don't lose the weight. It's the same thing with business. So many people, and we see this a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Trust me, guys. We own a platform. We have, at this point in the video, we have hundreds of sellers on our platform selling product. We can see what the problem is, what the problems are. We can see the good and the bad. And one of the bads is lack of consistency. Is so many people will just launch products whenever they want. They'll, if they feel like it, they'll look for new designs. They don't commit themselves to a process and then stay consistent with it. And so for me, it was so amazing to be able to learn, what am I trying to say here? Not learn, but to feel what consistency is like. To actually not just say it, but to see it in action and see the results of it. It's just so powerful. I think, if you could only, if one of these, well, I don't know. It's hard for me to choose my favorite. I was going to say this is my favorite key that I'm going to talk about today. But truthfully, if this is more important than any skill you're going to learn in ecom, it's going to be any. I really believe this. You can learn Facebook ads. You can learn what makes a good product. You can learn all this stuff. But if you're not consistent, it does not matter. Okay. And so consistency, I'm going to say it again, is such an important muscle to develop. And that pun was intended. Okay. It really is. It really is. And so weight loss, man, it really, losing this much weight taught me consistency. Okay. And so this kind of leads me into, the next point, but right before I just looked at my notes real quick. Consistency is the lifeblood of your business. Okay. It just really is. You can, like I said, you can have all the systems set up, you can have the strategy set up, you can feel great about the strategy, but the lifeblood, okay, that runs through the course of your business has to be consistency, or else you will never see the results that you want. And I know you're probably listening or watching this right now, and you're not getting the results that you want. If I had to diagnose you, your business, I bet you anything, it's you have a lack of consistency. I bet that you're not committed to consistency. It's not, for me, I don't think it's lack of a strategy. It's not intelligence. It's none of that. I'm 90% of you out there, it's just a lack of consistency. I do this a lot. I know. I should have a piano here, just hitting it. So for you guys listening only, I'm always hitting the desk. So anyway, I'm just passionate about that because I know if I can get you consistent, you're going to get the results that you want in your life. Okay. And so number two, um, for me, what I've learned is self confidence. Okay. And it's not like the self confidence that you think of where, you lose the weight and you feel self confident. Yes, that's part of it. That's not the self confidence I'm really talking about here. It's a self confidence of knowing that I can be consistent, that I can achieve something. Okay. And what I've learned, and one of my mentors that I listen to, one day I will meet you, Ed Milet. He's one of my heroes. He talks about self confidence is just making and keeping promises to yourself. Okay. And so when you make and keep promises to yourself, you build self confidence. Okay. Sometimes we feel like, you know, it's it's awesome to make promises to other people and to keep those promises to other people. That's a very great value to have. But are you keeping the promises that you make to yourself? Are you holding yourself to the same standard maybe that you hold for other people in your life? And the reality is that if you're not making and keeping promises to yourself, you don't have self-confidence that you can do something. Okay. And lacking self-confidence, it's interesting. We do a lot of challenges with our sellers where, to sell ornaments or Father's Day, things like that. And it was really interesting as we were doing the live, the number one thing that people talked about um, in not being able to do this business, or what their barrier was wondering if they could do it. Like, can I really do this? Or getting their hopes up. And I'm telling you, this goes back to self-confidence. And so on the weight loss side of things, I made certain promises to myself. Okay. Again, it goes back to making a plan, having consistency. And then I made promises to myself and I honored those promises. Okay. You don't lose a bunch of weight by not honoring promises you made to yourself. What were those promises? Well, I used a system. I'll just give them a shout out, is a Noom. And I just was made promises that I was going to follow that. I was going to watch how many calories I took in every single day. And I still do that. Okay. And it's because I made that promise to myself that I was going to stick to that certain amount of calories. And guess what? I started to lose weight, which also feeds into my self-confidence. Okay. Your mind, yourself, when you start to make and keep promises to yourself, you're going to have amazing things happen to your life. Because if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe you can do something, guess what? It doesn't matter. You can have people in your life that believe that you can do something great with your life, or to run an ecom business, or lose weight, or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. But if you don't have the confidence that you can do it, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. And the way to begin to have that self-confidence is to make those promises to yourself, and not only make them, but keep them. And you can start off small, right? And so with let's jump back into ecom. What are some of those promises that you can make to yourself? Okay. So for instance, we talk about a lot how many launches per week you're doing. Okay. If you made a promise, I'm going to do 5 launches per week on Quadra or whatever platform you're selling on, right? And you do it for that week, it's going to give you confidence. Your mind, yourself, is going to feel great. You're going to start building that muscle of self-confidence. And then every week that you do that, it just builds and builds and builds to the point where you're like unstoppable. But it all starts with something simple, something small. Okay. And so um start small. You don't have to do 100 launches per week. You can build up to that, but start making small promises to yourself. And I can tell you, those small promises will yield amazing results for you down the line. Does that make sense? Am I making sense with this, Lindsay? Yeah. So I really, I really believe that you are you're the driver of the ship. You have to have the confidence you can do it. And so in the ecom space, make those promises and then keep yourself to that standard. And that was a huge lesson that I learned in weight loss. And it was I mean, the results speak for themselves. I was able to lose weight where before I thought it was an impossible thing. And it was just because I made and kept promises to myself. And so self-confidence, that's a huge, huge thing. Now, okay, so this might be my favorite one. Okay, so the third thing that I learned through my weight loss journey, and this was massive, and it's going to help you with your ecom journey, is being present. Okay, now I don't want to get all new agey and woo woo with you guys, but being present and being aware of what I was eating was huge. Okay, so just to give you some context, back when I was, not taking care of myself. I was unhealthy. I wasn't, I didn't care what I ate. The reality is, most of it was that I was just not aware. I wasn't present. I was just mindlessly eating stuff. I wasn't paying attention to my body or the calories that I was intaking. I was just mindlessly going throughout my day, not being present, and that right there, I can tell you, is why I gained so much weight, is because I was not present. Okay. The moment that not only I became aware of my body, like the needs of my body, like saying, am I hungry right now? Like before I didn't care. It's like I didn't care if I was hungry. It's just mindless. It's there. I'm going to eat it. And it got to the point where I became super unhealthy. Okay. And so once I just said, am I just becoming aware how I feel? Am I hungry? Okay. That awareness by itself was a lot of it. My sister actually teaches this. She's a weight loss coach, which is kind of funny. I I had a resource right there, and and I, how it is. Sometimes with family, you don't want to talk about certain things. But anyway, so she this is what she calls it, conscious eating, and maybe in the show notes we'll put a link to into her thing, because it's actually really powerful. But having said that, just that consciousness, right? Of just knowing what I'm intaking and being aware, oh, I'm eating this right now. And then, oh, I'm feeling full. Just that right there was game changing for me. And not only that, but for me as well, the other game changing part of being aware on the eating side of things was I had no idea. I mean, I knew what calories were, but I didn't understand, like, or was completely unaware of how certain foods have different kinds of calorie and calorie density. And so just being aware and reading and then logging my calorie intake made me present, made me actually think and be intentional about what I was doing, what I was intaking. Okay. And so that right there, okay, this is my favorite one. That right there has been life changing on so many levels, not just on the ecom entrepreneurial level or on the weight loss level, just with family, with my relationships, everything. Just being present is the biggest gift that not only you can give to yourself, but to other people. I really believe that. And if you can, it's the number one skill. I'm going to speak for myself. For me, that is the skill I'm trying to master. That is the skill, because after that, everything else will fall into place. Okay. And so let's talk about how it's affected my entrepreneurial journey now. Okay. So where before I was constantly reacting to things that were happening to me in my business. And so if you're starting out in your business, or if you're a business owner, you're going to know this. Things happen in business and they can be extremely stressful. Okay. So in print on demand, you can have a manufacturer that, doesn't deliver the right product, or, you have a customer that is just completely uh, unreasonable and has reported you to Etsy. There's all these things that happen that draw your attention in and that make you what I call unconscious. You're not present and you're just going through the motions. You're just reacting to the moment. Okay. You're not really being present. You're not reacting from a higher space. Okay. And so for me, what that ended, it fed into my unhealthy eating habits. Really, that just kind of came to me right now. But I was so reactionary, just like I was with food. I saw the food, I grabbed it. A problem came in, I reacted to it. There was no any kind of present moment where I said, "Oh, this is happening. Let me separate myself. Let me get present. Let me see it for what it is." Instead, it was just constantly reacting to it. Issues with money. There's when you're in business, it's like I like to say, you can use business as your guru. Ecom became my guru. That's what I love about this business, is it's become not only a way for me to provide for my family, but it's a way I can work through self-development. And this is the biggest way. And then just to go back to that, I would just completely react to stuff. And it just took me down these paths where I just became, I feel like not the best business partner at times, where I would get upset, or then taking things home and just being disconnected because I was worried about all the stuff going on at work and not being present. Once I learned to be present with weight loss, it was such a huge blessing to be able to use those same skills in my business. And so now, um, when things happen in my business, I mean, I'm not perfect, but what I really try to do is first become completely present and to feel the emotion of what's happening in my business, not judge it. And this is where I'm going to get new agey, not judge it, not label it, but just let it kind of have its course. And then realizing that it's temporary, that it's just going to go and float through and pass through. Once that happens, then I'm in a state of mind where I can actually take action and see things for what they are. Brian's not here. He loves to quote Tony Robbins, but you don't. Tony Robbins says, you want to look at problems. I even hate calling problems. Life is what it is. That you create the problem inside of you, right? But what he says is, look at the challenges in your life, not not worse than they are, but also not better than they are. You want to have a balance, okay? Just look at what they are. The thing is when you're not present, you're reacting, based on past experiences, what your mind has conditioned you to. And so your reaction is usually worse, at least for me, I will speak for myself, is usually worse than what the situation actually is. But when I get present with myself, just like I did with my weight loss, when I actually looked at the food, when I felt, hey, am I full? Am I hungry? And I was able to react from a place of wholeness and actually feed my body versus just reacting to stress by doing it. It's the same thing with my business. Once I let the situation kind of set in, just be aware of it, be present with it. After I could let that flow through me, then I could take action. Okay. And again, we're getting out there in the woo woo area, but surrendering to the fact of what's happening in life and not reacting to it in business, right? Not reacting to that customer that wants to, we've talked about this, death threats, right? Because they didn't they didn't get their $30 sign on time, right? Or whatever it is, and not just reacting, but actually just being present, feeling that, because no one likes to be told that they're bad, or no one likes to get death threats. I can tell you that. That's fair, right? But so you are going to have a reaction. I'm not saying you don't have a reaction, but or there won't be an emotion there. There will be emotions there. What I'm simply trying to say is you don't react from that place of emotion. You actually just observe it, you feel it, you allow it to go through. And that's another huge thing. Weight loss and entrepreneurship is understanding, having the mindset that every emotion's temporary. That feeling of that that angry customer, for example, guess what? In 5 years from now, you're not even going to remember it. Heck, hopefully in an hour, 20 minutes, it won't have an effect on you. It has an effect on you the more you obsess with it and the more you allow it to draw in your energy, right? And so hopefully that's what I'm trying to do, is kind of shorten the gap between how long those emotions kind of affect me, right? And so when someone does react that way, I will try to let it go, let it pass as quickly as possible. I don't give it a timeline. But what I've discovered is, as I've just allowed those emotions to be and I don't react to them mentally, I don't engage with it, I don't give it energy. I feel like I can get into the present moment quicker, and then I can actually react from the present moment, from a clear conscious, in a very much in a more productive and impactful way. Okay. And so not only is it helping me deal with stress now, being present, but the quality of my work is so much better now. Okay. Where before I was, and those of you who run your own businesses will relate to this. Sometimes you're just running your business out of fear, or just the stresses of the day just build up, and you're reacting, or you're doing the work from that place of stress. and the quality of work isn't as good. And so what I like to do is if I find myself being in that state, I don't care how busy I am, I'll find a moment where I can kind of just center myself and just be in a place where the quality of my work will be better versus the quantity, the how much work I'm putting out there from place of stress. And so the quality of your work will go up. The decisions you make will be better when you're present. And so I'm really so thankful for my weight loss journey. Just to recap again, what there's been many lessons. These are just the three that I really wanted to share with you that have had the most impact with me. Our consistency, learn to be consistent, have a plan and be consistent. Second, self-confidence. You will learn self-confidence as you make and keep promises to yourself. Look, many of you are great at making and keeping promises to other people, but are you great at making and keeping promises to yourself? The person that matters most? I would say most of us aren't, and I include myself in that. That's something I'm really trying to be good at, is making and keeping promises to myself. And then third, my favorite, being present. Be present. Be intentional. Don't let the stresses of life guide you to where it'll just be a bit bigger problem. Look at the quality of work that you're doing and being present, and just try to remove the stress out of your life. We get into this business, guys. I feel like I'm talking very low. Hopefully this mic is like, will bring out the audio, because I am super passionate about it, but I'm just trying to put this point out there, is that the whole reason you got into this business, print on demand, drop shipping, ecom, is so that you could have a great life, so you could live life on your own terms like we talk about. What is the point of getting into ecom if you're just trading the stresses of a full-time job with the stresses of now a business that you own? And I have news for you. If you allow it, it can be even worse than a job. That's why I'm trying to hopefully challenge you to look at these three things in your life so that you can apply them to the business, so you can actually have a fulfilling life and not just have another, you quit your job only to be slave to a business that isn't rewarding, that doesn't allow you to live your life on your own terms. So guys, the challenge is there. I will say, again, I would challenge you to look at yourself, and hey, if there's things in your life where you can be healthier physically, I would urge you. And again, this has nothing to do with body positivity. I just really think that you'll feel better about, not only about yourself, but just in general. And you'll learn these lessons as well. You'll be better in your business. But I challenge you to at least look at these three things, apply them to your business, and I know that you'll be blessed because of it. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. I hope that was helpful, and I hope that it was something that will have an impact in your life. And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, guys. Signing off. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, could you do me a huge favor and like this video? Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got tons of great content there. And if you want to connect with us on social media, check out the links in the description, and we look forward to seeing you there.